Live, or we should be. Everything should be working. I'm going to wait a minute here for someone to say they can't hear me or that they can before we get into any real topics. No pressing matters. I've still got that brain stress ball thing. And I want to talk about games, movies, whatever. It's going to end up being, hey, which actress do you think hotter? And that's probably what's going to devolve to. So I probably should have just called the stream that, right? I'm drinking a Rockstar. See if we can see a chat. Chat filter, none. Oh yeah, if you want to spam, spam away. I don't know a lot of people are these after the fact, post-mortem, but I think some people are because it gets kind of saved as a video. I've got my fancy mic here so that it looks like I'm professional, but it's not actually hooked up. We're actually listening to something else. But I could probably, get that out of the way altogether, right? Yeah, that looks pretty good. We've got viewers. Hey guys, how's it going? Feel free to ask me anything. Been watching Rebel Moon Director's Cut. I will have a video out. Shoot, I might even... I actually just shot something for that, and I'm not sure if I want to put that out immediately. I do intend to have a video up tonight on Batman Caped Crusader. I watched 2 episodes of that, and I feel like I'm ready to make a video, which tells you how that's going to go. Mary KK, did you Rings of Power Season 2 trailer? It looks like an improvement from Season 1. I wish the elves looked more attractive. Not a huge fan of Lord of the Rings, so I did not watch Rings of Power Season 1. Buddy of mine from college is into the Lord of the Rings stuff. He'd like it. And he's pretty receptive to liking whatever the media tells him he needs to like. Yeah, that's actually a lot of people these days. So I'm familiar with it. I think while I was playing Fall Guys, I was hearing people on YouTube talk about it and being disappointed and whatever. Dawn is inevitably going to make me compare women. Would try to get me in trouble here. Did you ever play Assassin's Creed? Yes, I did. I played the first one. That first Assassin's Creed, was it E3 2005, maybe 2006? They showed that game off, and it was blowing minds in that showing games nowadays doesn't. It's like, what? You didn't get the guy, so now you have to chase him, and then there's like a parkour, and it's like, huh? She said parkour, and there's a hot woman. Was her name Jade or something? There was a hot chick. It's like the first time they've let a girl be lead on a game. It ultimately turned up disappointing with a bunch of filler content, a bunch of go grab the flags over here. Oh, but you can call a horse. It seemed passe by 2007. And we also felt a bit of a bait and swap, or bait and switch really, was like, okay, so we're going to be in the role of this guy, and he's an assassin, and he cut his finger off so he could have an extra knife spot. It's like, but it's an ancestor, and you actually go through some device, and you get a lecture from Veronica Mars, and it's like, this is not what I signed up for. Yeah, that's what I have to say about Assassin's Creed. Did you ever watch Sailor Moon on Cartoon? No, I did not. And by Cartoon Network, is that the OG, or are there additional Sailor Moons, like My Little Pony? There's like Friendship is Magic is like totally different than where the thing started, and I'm not real familiar with Sailor Moon. I know it's one of those girl gate into anime type things where inevitably every girl you know is into their damn crystals, the astrology shit, their and moon, and that might be their extent on anime, or they get a tattoo of that girl with the muzzle, the bamboo muzzle, because she's in an anime. But yeah, that's that. What happened to Cartoon Network? Demand. Everything is on demand. I scared away Mary here saying I didn't watch season 1 of Rings of Power. People don't sit and wait for something to air. They want to get up and get nachos. They want to watch it when they want to watch it. And a lot of people don't even really watch this stuff on TVs. They watch on an extra screen, on a phone or an iPad. Possibly now more than they watch on a TV. The big TV is almost a boomer relic. I mean, I got this 55-inch OLED a year ago, and I don't think that I'm playing games with kids that are on big TVs. I'm probably coming across people that are playing on, oh, well, I like to just use the Xbox controller on my phone and play, that sort of shit. So people do not are not inclined, and I'm not going to use the damn linear television, but it's TV, guys. It's TV versus streaming. Streaming has a lot of its own issues as they monetize streaming. Oh, let's make people pay for better resolution. Let's into ads unless you pay to not have them. Congress isn't getting involved. I can't explain why. Yeah, during the early 90s, because at that time you didn't have another screen where you were watching stuff on demand streaming on your phone. That's why Cartoon Network was working. Would you rather have $1 million or a million subs on YouTube? If you had 1 million subs on YouTube, and we're talking about people actually are still alive and they check in on your channel, you make more than $1 million all the damn time. Like every week, you'd have money pouring in. It wouldn't be an issue. So, okay, so look at somebody like Jenny Nicholson. Her Galactic Cruiser video has probably about 10 million views right now. That's probably $1 million in ad revenue alone. Having a video shoot up like that is going to get you more viewers, more subscribers, people signing up for your Patreon. She didn't spend a dime on it just from all the Patreon stuff. She was already, so it's just free money coming in on the ad revenue. You a lot more with 1 million subscribers. Who is currently your favorite male actor? Hell, current kind of makes that tough. I guess I'd just say Tom Cruise, because Tom Cruise is eternal. He'll just never go away. Someday Tom Cruise will die doing a stunt for our entertainment. So you'll out for him at that point. And I bet you Tom Cruise would get Black Twitter's honor, rest in power. We'll clip that. Will movie It Ends With Us with Blake Lively? No, I don't think I've seen. Okay, I saw one movie with her, and it had Ryan Reynolds in it, and it's from the director of GoldenEye, but it was good. Oh, Dawn, also here. Where are the viewers? See, this is why I probably shouldn't even be doing this. Like, oh, you should stream and stream vertically. You'll get a lot of viewers. Like, got a pretty good setup. I'm wearing a cool Durant shirt so I don't look racist. Got good lighting. No viewers coming in. Whatever. If you had no choice, would you rather watch Gossip Girl or The Acolyte for a rate? You had no... I'd go with Gossip Girl. Because I know so little about that world, whereas Star Wars has so much as far as the baked-in concepts, it can't differ too far. I know they tried to make that look bad. They made a bad judgment call, or there was a cover-up murder. And so that's rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, but I kind of think that's interesting and nuanced. Like, maybe there are some ways, perspectives to look as the Jedi are not that good. Now, compared to a Sith Lord, that doesn't seem like a great way to do it. Maybe if you didn't introduce a Sith Lord concept in there and you talk oppressed people, that might work better. The people are oppressed by the Jedi. They don't have a Sith Lord to jump into so that you know which side's good and bad ultimately. But yeah, I'd probably end up watching... Also, that there were some cute chicks on the show. I think... Yeah, so because I don't know much about it, I'd probably rather watch it. I look horrible today. The lighting's making my nose look huge. I've got the camera angled down kind of funny. I was a little concerned about how to have that. Oh, okay. If you had no Twitch... Yeah, okay. Why am I reading that again? What's your thoughts on The Witcher? I reinstalled the now updated, and it's been that way for a year, Witcher 3 Wild Hunt with the next gen patch. And I'm like 2/3 of the way through the game, I think. I've never played for, but I started on the highest difficulty Death March because I'm an adult and I know how to play games. And I was just getting my ass handed to me for the longest time, and I started to dive with it, and it left Game Pass, and I was like, no, don't worry, I'm going to get back into this yet. And then I just got sidetracked with other stuff. But there are certain things this game does very good for an action roleplay game. Like, I really feel like I'm in the world as Geralt. I'm running across characters with intriguing backstories, and there's like consequences from the previous games that count differently depending on how you actually did things. A quest will appear to you differently if you killed a guy in Witcher 2 or something. That's really cool. I loaded Witcher 2 also, but I haven't installed it or played it. In part because I want to play the first game first, and that's never coming to console, so it's like, what am I going to do? But Witcher 3, with the next-gen patch, there are some issues with it working, the high dynamic range and the real-time lighting with the ray tracing. So you have like, I was like, why is everything just washed out in gray and looks like Lego bricks? I had to like restart the game a couple times and it kicked in properly. And that is an issue with a lot of these things that get patched with ray tracing. So it wasn't working all the way. But I can't get back into the game because, oh, I have no viewers now. But I can't get back into Witcher 3 because it is on the highest difficulty. Everything is dodge from yourself, slash a couple times. You're going to get hit, so you have to reapply the shield sign, whatever, and dodge. Just, it's going to be so much easier on a lower difficulty where it is just of a grind to kill things. But I mean, I've done it this far, so I'm going to keep pressing. Unfortunately, I messed up and can't get all the achievements on this run. Because early on you have a Gwen, that's like your card game. You have a Gwen card that you can only pick up in one spot, and I skipped it. And now I'm screwed, so I have to do a second quest anyway. But it's New Game Plus, so hey, maybe I will crank it down to like storyteller mode, game journalist difficulty, go through the game, get all the cool stuff. I have a special word from Siri that I found a glitch to get it into my treasure chest so I can grab it later as Geralt. I'm hoping that didn't get patched out, but I'll probably find when I get to like level 30, I'm allowed to use that, and then it's going to be on. But yeah, I don't want to have to turn down the difficulty just to do the Death March as a New Game Plus where you're all, because look, you want to really play a game, start at the highest difficulty and go in and don't read up anything online about how to play it. That's the way I used to do it. Then I started doing the streaming, and it was like, well, people aren't going to watch me die for 3 hours straight on the first level, so can't do that. So yeah. Do the Oscars matter? Nope. And they can't even get a host. So why not get me? Get a guy who's been clowning on the Oscars since 2008 and tell you that it's not worthwhile, and just make them. I don't like using other people's jokes. I'll write my own material. I don't have to have a writer's room. Our consoles, most people are playing PC games and consoles are scamming you for. It's not that. I think a lot of people are getting driven away from the console, not just to the PC. Yeah, there are the power players there, but there's a lot of people doing the mobile and the mobile stuff will just grow as we make our phones and iPads more powerful. You can run, I think, don't they have like Final Fantasy Village, Resident Evil Village, iPad or something? Like, they're getting to where they're going to outpace what they are willing to update in a console. I think that we may see a mid-gen Xbox, and I'm not sure if we'll ever see a next-gen for as far as Xbox is concerned. PlayStation will probably just be considered the winner, and they're going to have their stuff on their console for a while, and maybe it'll get to PC in 2 years, and that's just the way it's going to be. However, we do have some good news. It appears Xbox is actually working with Capcom to make sure that their collections end up on the Xbox where they belong. So, when we have a release Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, it will probably include the Xbox logo, so help me God. But yeah, the Nintendo is always going to have consoles. It doesn't matter how powerful they are. Well, you can play Mario, and their games are special. So that's that. Thoughts on on why played in Saoirse Ronan in Lady Bird and Little Women 29 remake is hot. Not hot, okay actress. I've seen her in a couple things. Just kind of thought, I don't know how long she can hold on to this because she's like, she's tapping out, and there's like too much competition in the youngish actor willing to do anything for a part. So I don't know. Terminator 2 or Star Wars: A New Hope? Terminator 2. Best director ever in your opinion? James Cameron. Okay, worldwide chiming in. Teddy. By the way, I'm the best director of all time. I'm given nothing. I have to do everything completely by myself, so I actually know how everything works. And when I do get opportunities, I knock it out of the park and know it is. So that's cool. Teddy's listening. That's good. Prequel trilogy of Star Wars was so good. No, it was not. I wish George stayed. Best 3. No, nah, Django, you're messing with me. Unpopular. I liked episode 1 the best. It had the most intricate story. Possibly of all the Star Wars. The Phantom Menace was actually Palpatine. But you see them all in the poster. Oh, that guy's the Phantom Menace. There's a lot of cool things that happen in episode 1. Episode 2 becomes schlocky. And episode 3, I don't think really redeems everything. There's so much digital bad sets in episode 3. The acting is sus. The line reading is weird. They said you were killing younglings. And how do you turn Anakin to the dark side? You should have said, the Jedi killed her, you know? Oh, in your rage, you killed Padme. No. So now he has no one to blame but himself, so why remain with the Emperor? Like, give something to motivate. Whatever. When did reviews for trailers because it shouldn't. It should not be a thing. No one should review a trailer. I don't care how good you think you are anything. The trailer is or is not scenes from a movie. Watch the trailer for Faster, starring Dwayne Johnson. That might have been like one of the first movies where it said Dwayne Johnson on. It was the first one where he's straight bald. And they didn't know how to address this, so they like put him at the top of the poster and like cut his head off. It's weird. Not a particularly good movie. Almost every scene in the trailer is not in that film. Now, you're like, where's this car chase? What's this gunfight? Do you feel lied to? In a way, I feel more like, oh, well, aren't in the movie. Now we don't know what's going to happen. Instead of, well, this guy can't be dead yet because he hasn't flipped the car. So he definitely didn't die in that first explosion. You see what I'm saying? The trailers, I typically avoid them because they give away too much, and it doesn't matter who it is. Now I've seen the trailer for Gladiator 2. I've probably watched the whole movie. I did not see the full trailer for Deadpool because I felt like I was seeing enough of it in the teaser. Now I've waited long enough. I can't chime in on that movie for anybody to give a shit, so I'll probably just have to hit up the 4K if Disney blesses us with one, and probably won't even like it. Okay, why am I still reading that? Make a video on the stupidity. It's really a trailer reaction. Oh my god, they got Robert Downey. Oh my god. Oh, they announced a movie at the thing that used to be about comic books, but is about movies now. Whoa. I don't like the idea of Robert Downey Jr. returning to the MCU. And frankly, I don't even like the term MCU. It's schlocky as shit. It's idiots on. You'll spot an idiot. Here's how to spot an idiot. It's been downhill since Endgame. First of all, downhill does not mean what you think it does. Downhill means it's easy. The weight is off your shoulders. It's an easy walk downhill. Not it sucks because it's going downhill. It's not a phrase. Just the idiots have taken it over. It reeks of desperation is what it does. We couldn't get anybody to give a shit about the Marvels or any of this other crap the big black guy we hired, he beat a white girl. Oh, actually, he ran away from her and got found guilty of that. So stay away from white chicks. But Let's bring back the Russo brothers because they were the director puppets. We made the most money. Let's bring back Robert Downey Jr., but he's not going to be Iron Man. It's not going to be this thing where people see him and go, Tony? What? Why are you Doctor? No, it's not. Now he's playing the villain. And I guess he's new Thanos, like the big bad that'll have the overarching story for this whole phase, but they're not calling it phases anymore. They've learned their lesson. They plan too far ahead. They have two loose ends that they aren't even bothering to address. Like, what? The guy got the sword at the end of Eternals, and he's like, gotta do this now. Like, okay. What about that pop singer that was supposed to be like Thanos' law or some shit? All right. I guess that's due. Maybe they'll learn their damn lesson and quit teasing upcoming movies with post-credit scenes. Shit. Leave that shit behind. Christ. That does not need to be in the 2020s. Have you ever watched a Netflix show called You? I've heard things. I guess that guy was on your favorite show, Gossip Girl. The chick he adores or whatever, he's like super protective of her, but looks pretty good, so I can't blame him. Jedi are evil. Jedi are incompetent, not necessarily evil. You were one who admitted Force Awakens was bad. That is correct. I was the first to have the negative review. I sat in theaters and was just like facepalm, like, what? Huh? What? Oh, immediately on getting up and walking out, I'm like, oh, this makes George Lucas look good. This makes the prequels look good compared to this. And everybody else is fawning over that shit. Well, you don't know. Wait till the trilogy's over, and then you'll find out if there are any plot holes. Shit, you gotta wait all that time to figure out if they're screwing you or not. Like, and you have a lot of these selective idiots over on YouTube. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Marvel MCU. Avengers Endgame is one of my favorite movies. However, don't set up your argument for your clickbait video by mitigating it. Oh, don't worry, I'm just like you guys. Please don't hit the downvote. Bunch of lying asshats. Red Letter shills were exposed by Force Awakens, probably, but they had skin in the game. They like to think that the reason J.J. Abrams got the key to the Millennium Falcon. That's what they like to think. They exposed the prequels. Before them, I don't think people were that concerned with the prequels being bad. They weren't really brought up in the same circles so much so. So they have to die on the hill of prequels are the worst thing that can happen to Star Wars. They'll look at the Acolyte, they'll look at all this other stuff. Didn't they for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, which I could come forth. Was that worse than Book of Boba Fett? Because both of them were stupid. Worse, Book of Boba Fett or Obi-Wan Kenobi? I mean, Book of Boba Fett has a guy who climbs out of the Sarlacc pit with his armor on, gets beat up by Jawas, who then steal his armor. They're scavengers. We know they stole it. When he has a chance to get his armor back, he goes, I have to go into the Sarlacc pit to get my armor. Dumbass, you climbed out of the Sarlacc pit with your armor. The armor's the only thing that stopped you from involved. Did you think the Jawas were like, oh, it doesn't fit, we'll throw it back? It was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Contrast that with Obi-Wan Kenobi. We have Princess Leia running away hill style from Flea and a bunch of like featured extras, seeing a little girl and getting hit by limbs through the forest. Then when we finally do a rescue, we have everybody pile into one of the land speeder, I forgot the name of them, from Battle of Hoth, that see all of 2 people. And we have, 3 adults and a child pile in. We never see them get in, and we never see them get out. We just cut to interior of ship. Oh, that was a close one. Oh, Jesus. Just blazing incompetence. But Red Letter Media will tell you the prequels were worse. Okay, sure, guys. Expose yourselves. Yeah. Is that flipping? I mean, am I dropping enough bombs over here? Why don't I have 10,000 viewers? Do I have to like take my shirt off or something? Do I need Wade in the kitty to lick the mic over here? If I have the mic in the shot, do things look more expensive? Oh, wow, this guy's got a production budget now. Like, is that how it works? Do I need a camera that like tracks me automatically, follows me around, and it has auto framing? Like, is that the next step? Things I'm gonna have to spend money on that don't actually produce results. All right. Do you make enough money online to live on your own? Kind of. Really, what it is, it's a little bit of the avenue, but it's a lot of, oh, well, he made a video about this product, so I'm going to buy the product and then get a piece. And just the generous way Amazon allows that to track, for one, really helps. Are private schools a scam? I'm believing so. I don't think that you're learning better. The curriculum is the same, or they wouldn't be approved or accredited, right? It is really just, we have to scare parents into spending money with us, or their kid will be ditch digger. That's what it is. It's a scare thing. And we have allowed people to claim authority by being from the Ivy League schools, which is just a sorting mechanism so we can have the rich people hang out with the smart people, and then they'll decide how the future is going to unfold. The rest of you will have classes for you, but you learn, you might be able to apply it, but hey, what do we care if you don't find a job doing it, right? So there is a lot of scamming going on in the education system. When are we actually going to that there are smart people and dumb people? I went to school for a long time. Rarely did I feel like I learned anything at all, because I was one of the smart kids who already knew all the shit. Now, you do have dumb kids who, I can't experience this. Do dumb people get smart? Because it seemed to me like dumb people then commit crimes and get caught. So are we wasting resources educating them in the first place? Like, just what are we doing? Why do we act like, oh, well, no, anybody can be smart? Like, okay, sure. Can we judge a movie whether it's good or not off the box? No, God, no. In fact, probably the inverse at this point. It used to be a movie made a ton of money, largely because word of wrong, and therefore people liked it. It was good. It made a lot of money. And that really well. But the caveat is it is unpredictable. Everybody thinks they're making a good movie that will make money, that will have good word of mouth, and they never really could tell if it was going to be good or not until the public weighed in. So what you have now is, let's just use characters everybody likes already, established worlds, just have some leer in on that worldview, and yeah, let's just get somebody else's spin on it, gender swap, whatever, but that's going to be how we keep it fresh. And hey, you can get box office with it anyway, because you hold the critics now. They realize they could just cut off access to whoever still was in on any of this. When it was a newspaper, there was more concern over it, but now it's just online bloggers. Oh, we don't have to give you access if you're going to give us bad reviews, so screw it. And what do you end up with? A shitload of positive reviews, right? Oh, but the audience says it was bad. It's funny how forgotten Witcher 3 became. It was pushed like... I was not that in on the hype. It was a game that I saw the trailer for, thought it looked perverse and rapey, and not even gameplay footage. So I was kind of like, eh. And years later, I came across on Game Pass, played it a little bit, and was kind of like, oh, I can kind of see the appeal. Then as it was starting to leave Game Pass, I played it more and was like, man, I'm getting kind of engrossed in this in a way that doesn't happen often with games. And it didn't feel like a busy task interacting with NPCs, as strange as that is. But you can populate a world like The Witcher 3 with monsters just outrun pattern, and they're high level and some are low level, and you get to them when you can. You can do that so much easier than you can having living, interactive people driving, walking around a city as seen in Cyberpunk 7. That's the big difference here. It is so much easier to say, monster in this cave. Doesn't have to do anything. What do monsters do all day? They don't get out on a phone and have a conversation and interact with other people and go do things, pick up groceries. Trying to put all that stuff into a living city, whole nother nightmare, and only Rockstar seems to know how to do it. Actually, I saw a thing, and I didn't know this, but in one of them, might have been GTA 4, if you pay a homeless guy and then you start a fight with somebody, the homeless guy who you gave money to, panhandling, will actually defend you, will step in. Long-term ramification from a well, actually, the original GTA games worked like this. You actually had like a gang affiliation. You don't really have that anymore. And games are so afraid to do these like hardline scores. Oh, well, you lean good or you lean bad. Instead, it comes down to like a choice you make in a scripted event instead of how you played the game. I would love to see how you played the game have long ramifications in the new GTA, which I have said is going to be my swan. I will retire with GTA 6 from gaming if I make it to the release. So, okay. Are British actors and actresses better overall? No. I'm not sure the mindset of the British starlet, but basically all of them you've seen naked. The American ones tend to be less customary, but the British ones, they have to do everything they can to make a splash, right? Daisy Ridley is a naked corpse on a show in England as her edit before she's cast as Rey Palpatine, the greatest heroine of all time. So that they're willing to make those kind of arrangements, and they will turn off the British accent, and that will appease the casting director. And a lot of times you end up with a bunch of Canadians in something because when they shoot in Canada, it's required by the Canadian law that they have X number of the on-screen talent has to be local. America doesn't do the same shit. America, I've said it before, only country without a national film board. Every other country, you have an idea for a movie, they will give you like double funding. They will match your funding so you can make your movie. So that basically their culture exists and can compete against Hollywood, having control over the wide culture narrative. America doesn't have that because the Senate congressmen are put in place by Disney and all these other companies in the media, and they don't want competition from you and me, anybody in Kansas making something and having say. So that's what we've got. Why is Mr. Beast so successful? Clickbait, lies, getting people to think they'll make money by watching him, having a creepy smile with no lip. How do you... I can't do it. Looking goofy as shit goes on YouTube if you're a guy. That's why that ninja kid, he has blue. Girls can be hot chicks. Guys have to look goofy as hell. Did you see Andy Pants video? I have no idea who the hell that is. I'm assuming he wears pants in his videos. The current state of game. Really fascinating videos worth... Django. Lay it out here on the line what some of his thoughts are and I'll react to that. We're going to wrap this up at about the hour mark because I want to edit my Bang-Caped Crusader video and have that up. Even though I'm not really feeling... I kind of did it off the cuff. I'm not sure if it's going to be a great video, but yeah, I got to strike while there's anything relevant with that. What are your thoughts on Handmaid's Tale? Never seen it, but that chick who I guess though I never watched it, she was secretary on Mad Men and such a girl boss, and all the short fee white chicks love her. They really like her, so I probably am not inclined to like the show. They have a snazzy, kind of like the bonnet hat thing. That's about all I know. With Mr. Beast going under, it will create a vacuum. No, he's not going under. He's not going anywhere. All he's got to do is just fire whoever his friend was that got touchy with little kids or whatever. There's a lot of creeps and weirdos out there on YouTube. I have to say it before. You're on, look, it's like this. Like, how do you end up with the Scoutmaster being a pedophile? Because he's in the activity kids are. Okay? It would be weirder if it was a journeyman carpenter or a TIG welder, okay? The line where the kids are. Too many people out there are making these videos for kids because kids are gullible, they're stupid, they click the bait. They're making money making videos for kids. I make no videos for kids. Screw them, kids, as Michael Jordan would say. And everybody else gets to rise because, well, they've got, you know, the gross audience, the bigger piece of the pie at YouTube is the kid, and they'll get those kids on there and they'll say they're not making shit for kids, but we know they are, Mr. Beast. And then you go and oh, your friend came out as trans, and well, where else is this going? So yeah, this sort of shit happens, and it's like, if you're actually talented, you probably wouldn't need to hire all these staff people to screw shit up for you. Or is it so you could have Fall Guys? You actually do something and then you just pin it on your buddy over here? Yeah, I mean, I said that in enough way so that I can't be sued, right? PC games is really that popular. With the PC, do you get the impression that it's just not very casual? Like, genre of PC games, first-person shooter. You actually like to play a Nintendo game, a platform, anything similar to that. Don't you want to hold a controller, and then at that point, aren't you pretty much on a console once you get the controller out? Have you watched Citadel with Richard Madden and Priyanka Chopra? No. Is that Madden guy, is he the, was he in the Eternals? I think I saw him. The name sounds familiar. I think he was on a thing called like Yukon or something. There was a gold mining thing on AMC about 2013-ish. Priyanka Chopra, I don't care for, so that's not driving me to watching whatever she's doing. I might be Nintendo exclusive in the future. I'm deciding. You will be. You'll probably have PC and Nintendo as your real options. PlayStation if you like their IPs. Because Xbox says just go ahead and go to the PC. Or fire up your smart TV and get out your Xbox controller connected to Bluetooth. It's not that Xbox is trying to segue out of the console thing, but people are looking at, oh, Xbox sales are down. Hell would they be up? You're buying a console that is almost 4 years old at nearly full price still? Wouldn't you just wait? I mean, there's a lot of things over on Nintendo I'd like to get into when they have more powerful hardware. Switch, please. Are the Russo brothers overrated? Hell yes. Have they made a good movie? Because I haven't seen it. I didn't like any of their stuff with Captain America. I didn't like their Avengers things. Yumi and Dupree? Like, come on, they're puppets. Shit. I know they must have cut some deal on something at Netflix where it was like, oh, well, we'll make something over at Netflix and, you know, we'll show you guys. Well, didn't it have like Ryan Gosling or something? I ignored it. What would bring you joy in your life? You seem recent towards life, and it would bring me joy. I don't even think about being happy. Hadn't crossed my mind. Too cynical. Will the new... I really like doing stand-up comedy. That brings me about as much happiness as anything, so... And you kind of get to a point where it's like, oh, what if you don't get the buzz anymore? Do you have to do stand-up comedy while shooting and then wing gliding because the parachuting wore off and you no longer get the adrenaline hit? And then at that point, where do you go, right? That's why you can't become an adrenaline junkie. You'll always be chasing that. Will the new Snow White bomb in the box office? Likely. You answer this for me, guys. When any of the Disney projects come out, don't you just say, well, I could wait Disney Plus? But a lot of people don't even have Disney Plus. They hate it. So if something comes out and you know where it's going to end up, oh, we could just wait another month and it'll be on Max, right? So if once you set that up and everybody knows where these movies are going, where do we go from there? Like, the novelty popcorn bin will bring people to the theater. Shit. I may as well clip that so I can remember to make a video about it. Actually, I kind of have, maybe. Barbie movie made over $1.44 billion. Are these numbers legit, or did the studio buy some of the tickets? What led to this? It's IP. There is enough goodwill built up towards Barbie that the way the trailer came out, I haven't seen the film, but my understanding is it's very different from the way the teaser trailer worked. That's what won everybody over. Well, to see Barbie. They're finally making a Barbie movie. That's the logic. Would a Barbie 2 do any good? Probably not. They got the right gal. I mean, they got the closest we could get to actual actress that looks like Barbie, respectively enough. It could have been a lot worse. We could have gotten Amy Schumer. Her career has been put out to pasture, rightfully so. But I mean, now we know the audience also. It's like Kamala Harris right here. You could get people behind Kamala Harris until they figure out who she is, and she's been the VP all this time. We know she's a disaster on the border. We know she can't say coherent things. Why are we now? The media is convincing us that she's brand new, like we've never met her before. Now that the audience knows what a Greta Gerwig picture is, they don't want to see any more of that shit. Yeah. Django says, I think the stories, actors, characters, and world building prequel trilogy is great. Look, I was watching that Rebel Moon, and the world building aspects of George Lucas's mind are so far beyond Zack Snyder. It's like comparing a kindergarten to somebody's thesis statement. Zack Snyder has no clue how world building works. He just Spider Lady. Okay, we could get androids to do that, but there's really only one android. Ships can just go wherever the hell. Now there's a statue in them you have to feed. Just, oh my god. And now just even mentioning that, now I feel like I have to reshoot that video that I just did before I did this, because I could have said more. You know? Yeah, so the building stuff, though I do have issue with the Jedi robes. I felt like that was just what someone would wear in the desert. Instead, he was actually walking around as a Jedi, and people should have recognized that. Retroly kind of retconned that in, I guess. I will no longer do the dating actress comparison anymore since you don't like it. Yeah, it's dumb. I thought they were fun. Why to have some bro talk? I think he kind of ran out of to compare to, because it's like, I mean, most of them I can touch with a 10-foot stick, so. What are your thoughts on Rachel Zegler? Am I saying it wrong? Good actress? Is she hot? I have not watched any of her stuff, so I haven't seen her Hunger Games or West Side Story remake. So I don't know too much about how her acting goes. Really, she looks well put together, but she seemed a bit mouthy. Like, why is she attacking potential viewers over movies? Like, who is anybody going to learn that's not the track? Like, oh, hell, you got Manla Stenberg, right? Puts out like a diss track to the Star Wars fans for disliking her character in their show. Like, not really the way to do this. It used to be there were publicists who the publicist would have you like media trained or work damage control for you. Can actresses these days just not afford that kind of stuff? Like the halcyon days of J-Lo commanding huge money and being able to do whatever she wanted with it. Now we have actresses who can't afford a house in LA. Anakin going from youth love-struck lad with issues to villain is very compelling. I have issues with him being introduced as a young boy and seemingly so far behind in development of Padme, who looks like an adult. Relationship doesn't really work. If one were to make the case, though, episode 1 seems to be the better of the movies. The machine, was it the juggling chainsaw order or something? They call it was it machete or chainsaw order? I'm trying to remember. I think it's machete order. Cut out episode 1 altogether when introducing Star Wars to somebody, and instead they kind of like ping pong back, and then they wrap up with Return of the Jedi. Probably a stronger way to do it. It works better to see Luke Skywalker's foil, his dad, introduced at roughly his age or closer to it, instead of him being a little kid. It just works better. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Okay, what else do we have here? Why don't most companies that could go remote make their employees still come to office? It seems inefficient. It is my understanding that you can get commercial property in New York really cheap, that the market has bottomed out, that spaces a year ago cost twice as much as they do today. I would think that the play is you buy the commercial property and you run for alderman or whatever the hell you can, and you get that rebrand, like rezoned, right, to residential, and that's where the money is. It's all, people have to live somewhere. They don't have to go somewhere to shop or have to buy. The only build to run a business in that people will come to, food, hair and nails. That's about it. Certain things women will keep coming back to, but luxury hangout, anything, it doesn't work. I mean, I don't know how you could have a club. Hell, how could you get a nightclub to work? You can only operate at night, right? But now you have to own the place all day long. So, yeah, all that stuff is falling by the wayside for sure. You can let people work remote. I guess you go ahead and do it, but are they less productive? Probably. Prequel trilogy a deeper level and a better popcorn level than the originals. Just my opinion. I mean, I'm not going to refute that. It's possible that I'm looking back at the original trilogy accurately. The shoddy effects in that have a charm to them that shoddy effects today don't. So when you get the old style composite effect coming into Cloud City, that has a charm versus bad low poly CGI or something similar. So is Rotten Tomatoes a trusted to judge what? No, it is not. It will tell you if something is okay. It judges by okay. It's about it. It does not judge greatness. The tomato meter, we should call it like a thermometer, like thermometer. It will tell you most people thought this was all right. That's about it. Is Wolverine vs. Deadpool the last of Marvel's success? Probably not. They'll probably be able to rope people in to see Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom in whatever year that comes out. And that'll probably make some money because, well, he's back. But do you get that effect if it's not the same character? Then again, what else would you want, right? So something's got to make some money. Watch Grayman movie, The Gray Man. That's the Russo brothers thing. Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta do like Leonardo. Right? No, I didn't watch it. What's the future on independent movies? Stark. Though it would be nice if the industry realized that they were operating in a boomer landscape and began making said boomer movies. If you want to save Hollywood, to writing a rom-com. We got to get the rom-coms out there so that we can have some genre diversity. Quit making one movie for everybody in the whole world to see. Making some stuff that's more niche. And if we can have successful films that are niche, we'll get more diversified stories. That's really the better way to go about it, instead of grafting on racial qualities to an already established character. Oh, give us a new black superhero, give us a black rom-com with a hot white chick or something. Like, mix it up a little bit. There's a lot of ways we could go with this, and I think that shouldn't women be missing Meg Ryan and Julia Roberts, Reese Witherspoon? We need someone to pick up that damn mantle and run with it. Otherwise, you end up with all the traits and tropes getting hammered into your comic book movies. I already wrote a script for that short right there or something. But, kind of flowing right there. I think I might modify that. When will the superhero movie end? It kind of doesn't. I suppose it could be deemed, too risky. But on the other hand, it's IPs people care about, so the risk is mitigated, largely. Why start YouTube? Because they wouldn't let me make movies. Who is currently your favorite young actress? Oh, geez. I know I had an answer for this. Shoot. Throw some names out there. Maybe I'll remember. Damn it. And it had to be something I was watching not long ago, too. Well, actually, the chick with the wide eyes, I kind of like her. Forgot her name. Furiosa 2, right? Why do companies like Disney keep pumping feminist garbage like The Acolyte? They don't care about money. It's part of what I'm saying. They don't make movies for women anymore. They make movies for everybody. Go back to making some movies for girls, a girls' night out. And that will keep all of that stuff you don't like, from Meg Ryan, Julia Roberts, Reese Witherspoon, all that stuff will stay over there versus coming into where you like it. Feels like people already forgot all these Disney shows. Seriously, I think, like just a minute ago, I'm like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, like really, right? I think the first 6 really are the ones that stick with Generation. Episode 5. As you make more Star Wars, you water down the... George Lucas selling Lucasfilm to Disney was going to go one way. More stuff. They weren't going to preserve it. That was never in the plans. We bought this so that we can make money with it by keeping more. So we kind of end up in a bad situation where whatever you make that is successful, you're going to just have to hand off to somebody else and screw up. Episode 5 was overrated, though. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, is overrated? Are you kidding me? That's the best one. That's the only movie that gives you a bit of a cliffhanger thing before that was something you could frown upon as lazy. It doesn't come across as lazy at all, and you feel a sense of success because you have a big mission to end the movie. No, I am your father, and I got the quote right because I'm not a dumbass. So, that big revelation, the stakes have been raised. You feel like you've made a sense in that you don't get with movies that are trying to ape The Empire Strikes Back. I will not stand for Empire Strikes Back savagery or whatever. That's probably 5 movie for me. Feels like people already forgot. Okay, why am I reading that again? Would being a millionaire make you happy? No. You'd get taxed like crazy. The thing about being a millionaire is it's not you have $1 million, it's you keep making $1 million. That's how I feel like someone is a millionaire. You don't punch in every day, but you keep making money. That's what rich is. What's your son Brandon Sklenar from the show 1923? I haven't seen that. I think my parents like it. Is that on Paramount Plus? Look, those Yellowstone spinoffs is like 1923, 1866. They seriously, there should be one called 2029 where the Dutton family has to fend off Skynet from their Yellowstone ranch. I would watch the shit out of that. That's how you do a legacy sequel Star Wars or Terminator spinoff. I watched a trailer for the Terminator anime. Not good to say about that. I was expecting the last line to be Arnold Schwarzenegger because I heard he had his voice in there. Like I was expecting him to say something like that. Oh, that'll be the stinger. That's how we end our trailer. And they don't even mention him or nothing. And it's just shoddy new age anime, done with computer, reduced frame rate on purpose to look janky so that you think hand animated. Like, God's sake. You just can't have another Cowboy Bebop, can you? Like, we just don't deserve it at this point. Oh, keep an eye out on this guy, huh? Brandon Laner. Look, Brad Pitt. The Pitt is already an unattractive last name. He had to do a lot to combat that. He has a look on screen. I'll take your word for it. By the way, Don, have you seen that American Horizon thing? The issue that they're going to have with that is everybody's just going to wait for it all to come out in like a box set and be like, okay, it's like buying a season of a show. That's what they do. And they got another one coming out. So was there like 4 movies or something? And they're coming out in quick succession. I'm hoping that $100 million Kevin Costner put towards this covered the films and not just the first one. Because at which those don't appear to be making money, you'd think it'd be hard to greenlight the completion of the story. Was having a National Film Board a good thing? As I explained, without a National Film Board, Hollywood keeps all the independent creators down. We have no way to get any of our stuff in theaters. National Film Boards and overseas allow and that their films have some kind of cultural relevance. If Singapore didn't mandate that their movies had X number of in the theaters, their entire culture would be controlled by Hollywood. Andy Pants talks a lot about BlackRock controlling gaming. Can't attest anything to that. Their actors and actresses getting paid much. Not getting paid much. Polar just got done voicing a movie that made $1 billion and is the highest grossing animated film. She's the lead voice talent in Inside Out 2, made $5 million. $5 million would not wake Robin Williams up. So I have no idea how we're going to sustain this. The movies have to make money, but the people making them make less. Shit is going down fast. It's going downhill. Like, it's sinking, okay? The ship's sinking. Our studio's losing too much money. Yeah, they're spending insane amount of money making stuff now, and it's more of like the effects back end sort of thing. And you would think they'd spend less money promoting it, seeing as how they have this like top-down integration. Well, we own ABC. We'll just run commercials for a Disney product. It's all in the family. And that's the way we'll promote it. But I don't know how they're spending that much money on advertising when you have less eyeballs watching TV and things too. All right, guys. We're wrapping this up. Also, how they pushed edgelords out of gaming and Full Sail activists get hired at game companies. Full Sail School, was that just like an affront to get feminists into game? I haven't seen about them in a while. Are they still operating? Used to see the name come up quite a bit when you're watching gaming stuff on YouTube, and then they'd have an ad or whatever, and you were supposed to think that you might be a game director or whatever. Andy Pants talks a lot about Xbox abandoning the bro audience and how these new games just divide people. Xbox definitely had a bro audience thing going. Do you recall Dead or Alive 3? If that wasn't a launch title, it was damn close. And you had this guy, and he was like kind of a heavier dude, and he's talking about why Dead or Alive 3, and he's like, she kicks high. Like, in a weird interview thing. there used to be like an appeal to that, and like the gamer fuel things, the tie-ins used to be more gamer bro, and now it's about, okay, it's Asian Pacific Islander Appreciation Month, get your swag, or actually here, buy this t-shirt that represents you. So yeah, things have changed. Andy Pants talks about how iconic the Xbox 360 was and how Phil Spencer destroyed it for woke panders. I don't have that fond of memories of the 360. The console broke a lot. I went through one each week for the first 4 consoles. Like, they wouldn't last a week. I think I ended up with 6 or 7 total. I can't recall. I have a Star Wars I do need to put on eBay, and it's basically complete and works. But yeah, I kind of need to get that on eBay. I don't know. Now that they shut down the Xbox 360 store, does that affect things? A lot of people had games on disc for that period, so I don't know. You said your brother is bold? No, he's bald, but in Vietnam, they don't care about their looks if you are ugly as long as you're white and make at least $1,000 a month. He is set if he has it. That maybe that's his plan. Maybe he's decided Vietnam because they don't care about looks. So maybe that's why he wants to go there. He hasn't gone there yet. I think the time skip between episode 1 and 2 works well, and a young adult, but still scarred by his life. It doesn't really work for me. He then goes and revisits mom after she's been captured. Wouldn't... I mean, as soon as they get to Coruscant, okay, we'll send somebody back to go get your mom. Like, we were kind of stuck on the planet. We escaped, but now we've got our resources together. Go send something over there, you know, a cruiser, whatever, pick her up. It just doesn't add up. Do you ever travel or plan to go to another country? Do not plan to. There are places I mind. I wouldn't mind going to Australia or Japan. That's about it. About anywhere else, I think you're looking at getting stabbed on the street and left for dead, or worse. You know, traveling outside the U.S. is just sketchy. And I don't really want to be in for a long trip for that. I'd rather be like knocked out. Like if there was like a coma air, they give you a sedative, you wake up and you landed. Or they give you a sedative, you don't even go through they knock you out, pick your hotel, and you wake up in another hotel. I'm good with that. That I could do. I don't want to go through the baggage shit. None of that. Just transport, for lack of a better. All right, we're looking at the last question, guys. You each get one more. I think millennials and Gen Z really enjoy the Renaissance style of the prequel trilogy. Yeah, that's something to think about. It does kind of Renfest thing happening, doesn't it? Haven't really thought about it that way. There is a Renaissance element inherent. That's like the... by contrast, I guess, well, it's sort of backwards, but the Dark Ages is kind of where we're at in the trilogy. It's almost the Dark Ages, really. With the Empire control, things haven't really advanced well. Yeah, are Gen Z into the Renaissance festivals? See, that's the thing. I'm not sure about that. Miami or Houston to live, no choice. No choice? You mean I have to live in one of the two? I guess Miami. Houston, you can't have a house in Houston. It'll flood. Miami, you probably have a hurricane. So, yeah, that's kind of iffy. Where I'm at in Kansas, do is not have a tornado. Knock on wood. Much set. So, what do you think about the opinion that the introduction of the smartphone caused a time warp that new culture seems thick? The smartphone caused a lot of things to change. That's for sure. Look at the media that came out before we had smartphones. You would never get something like Star Trek because people would be so wrapped up in their own popularity on TikTok, they would never you know, embetterment and exploration. None of that stuff would ever come. Screw that stuff. I have to get more likes. So, yeah, oh, I have to go through all the Schooled and Starfleet. No, I never pull up the internet and get, you know, doom scroll or anything like that in Star Trek. So, I personally felt Empire Strikes Back has the most pacing issues and felt it comes down to a few scenes. The rest I heard for, but appreciate the. Yeah, I don't have any issues with The Empire Strikes Back. It's appropriately paced to me. If it went faster, it would probably not seem suspenseful. There is a very fine line to ride when it comes to getting the timing right for that in screen time dedication, and when you can have something kind of light moment and you don't want that getting by something too heavy or making a laugh of it. So you have to be careful about it. I think it did a real good job. And I don't dislike Return of the Jedi either. I don't get the people that act like the Ewoks are bad, like are a bad thing. I don't have an issue with the Ewoks. They didn't do it on their own with just sharp sticks. They had Chewie helping. I mean, come on. I feel like the prequel trilogy plot points pay off massively versus some of the originals. Is that a spicy take? It kind of is a spicy take. I think that it's set up specifically to have these payoffs that are guaranteed to be considered payoffs because of the work the original trilogy did. In a vacuum, I don't think that you get the payoffs. I don't know if you really care about Anakin becoming Darth Vader unless you already liked Darth Vader as established elsewhere. So let's end on that. I'm going to probably reshoot video on... Shoot, I might even reshoot both the ones I just did. I did one on Batman Caped Crusader. I want to edit and put out tonight. Really put crunch for no one's going to watch that. And a Rebel Moon take. What's the thing I said here about Rebel Moon? The world building. Yeah, I got to criticize the world building. Maybe I can kind of do that off camera and then work that in. Yeah, maybe because I changed my shirt for the stream, so nothing's going to match up. Hot take, corporate suits of the past were better. Xbox executives than Phil Spencer. I agree. This Phil Spencer guy, he is not one to give a shit about exclusives. The hardware is not keeping pace. We've got games coming out that run at 30 frames per second without any other option to it. I mean, shit, Plague Tale Requiem from a year back barely runs on an Xbox 360, and this guy's completely okay with it because he'd prefer you playing it on a PC. All right, that's it. Let's wrap this up before I say something racist.